the latest story that we are getting, maybe some lobbying in Topeka to get things going to maybe get state support for college athletics. We'll dig into what exactly that means. That story coming out a little bit earlier this week. Plus, we're getting close to Super Bowl time here, right? It's almost there for us. But it's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring chili for a limited time. Hearty beef, no bean chili, perfect for lunch, and now available at all 3 WBC locations, East, West, Historic Delano, Wichita Brewing Company, pizza and beer made here. The KFH hotline's open for you at 869-1240. You can comment, video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, all wide open for you. Thanks for listening to us on the Odyssey app, and thanks for watching as well on 12 News Connected. TJ, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Getting ready for a busy weekend. I can't wait for it to be -3 degrees overnight tonight. Maybe a dusting on the way as well. I know Max is excited.
Sorry, I just vomited a little bit in my mouth when you said 3 below. Why do we have to do this again?
I know. Then it's gonna be 45 next week. We're gonna be playing golf.
It's not. I think it's gonna get even warmer than that by next weekend. Like those golf courses are gonna be packed. It's a little early. It's a little early, but I think I saw the 50s on the horizon. Let's go. I'm not sure why Mother Nature continues to punish us with bad weather on the weekends. It is a running joke now that we are consistently punished on the weekends with our bad weather. We can't get weather events on a Tuesday anymore. It's always on the weekends, has been for a little while. And this is going to be no different. We have a nice little warm up. Oh, you got Saturday plans? Really? Cool. We'll have feels like -20. How about that? Saturday plans.
Yep. We've got the latest in the puppy saga for those interested. We have a temporary fence that we're going to put up for him, like a big playpen basically outside to keep him more contained. We've had it for a week and a half and we can't put it in the ground because the ground is frozen.
I can relate and sympathize with frozen ground. So it's so funny. It's like PTSD this week. We had that stretch where we didn't get above 0. I forget how many hours it was. It was the longest since, right? We kept saying the longest since 2021. I remember it well. We were about to open our West store. And it was, which was the first store, the first HTO. We're going through this. We have no idea what we're doing. Like we're amateurs, like everything. The process takes so long. We're like, why does this take so long? We get there. We're like, all right, we're going to start construction. They're going to break ground, right? Break ground, quite literally. And then that stretch hits and they can't break ground. And we go through this crazy long stretch and it delayed construction by like 2 or 3 weeks.
That snowstorm was a nasty one. I was still playing baseball during that snowstorm, and we didn't play a game until like the end of February.
That was a rough one. My hope is that this one was just the storm we had last week, and this stayed cold, right? It stayed very cold. We get this little bitty dip, and then it's smooth sailing. Like no more of this, please. Or if it does, is it too much to ask to get the weather on like a Wednesday? Why does it keep having to ruin our weekend?
It is true. The Saturdays have been killing us here.
Killing me. Anywho, go by.
It's going to be a chilly drive up to Lawrence to go watch that one.
Yeah, at least
the good news. The good news for any Jayhawk fans that about this. Apparently, it's better than it used to be. But chilly outside is best for games inside Allen Fieldhouse because it gets to about 150 degrees in that gym.
I think that's worse because you have to bring a heavy coat.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you get inside, you got to deal with the heavy coat.
I mean, for media, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, no. For media,
for a fan, though.
For a fan, isn't that annoying? Like you go to these, you have like, we went with the family last year and there was snow on the ground. So it was sometime in January. I don't know. So we go, there's snow on the ground. You get there and you're like, well, what are we going to do with these 6 heavy coats in the bleacher seats now? Yeah, that's the, first world problems. We'll figure it out. But man, nothing good comes of this cold that you wished upon us. You wanted this. This was.
I didn't wish upon this.
I can't wait for it to get cold.
No. I just wanted a nice 40-degree day, and you were. I was just tired of it being 75 and 80 every day. I needed some 40s for a while.
How does 75 or 80 sound right now?
I feel it would be pretty good, but it ebbs and flows. There's a reason seasons are good.
Yeah, seasons are fine. Seasons
Maybe
can be, oh my
maybe
goodness,
we,
it's so cold. It's 45 degrees outside.
yeah,
That's it.
maybe
That's
maybe
that's
this
as much as we
maybe
need.
move to whatever Florida, and you can have your seasons be
Oh,
50
God,
or
are you
90.
kidding me?
Yeah,
Move to
not Florida.
Florida?
The humidity in Florida is awful.
No,
Arizona is the best, but it never really gets below 75 in Arizona.
I'll go sweat it out in Arizona, not Florida. No, I can barely hang on when it gets humid here. I'm a head sweater. You ever been a head sweater? Like everything comes right here, and like when it's hot, my family
yeah.
makes fun of me. My face is just drenched.
Yeah.
Everything comes down on my head.
Same. I'm a notorious sweater. And I went to that Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando, and I mean, that is the most slap in the face that I've ever gotten in my life, of going from, it was on Christmas. I flew out on Christmas night. And so I left, and it was like 40 degrees, 30 degrees in Kansas, like dry air. Get on a plane. I'm wearing a pair of sweats and a quarter zip, and I get off the plane, and I wanted to throw up. I'm like, I can feel my skin cells right now. Like, this is disgusting.
It's gross.
And it never got better the entire time.
No, that was Super Bowl. The Super Bowl I covered was in Miami.
Yep.
And I was with a couple coworkers, and they were packing. I'm like, shorts, really? Like, come on. I mean, I know it's Florida, but it's still winter. Oh no, it was fine. Like, we could have gone to the beach. It was so hot though. Not hot, but humid. Humid sucks. Humid's the worst. It's just, it doesn't serve any purpose. Like, what's the point of humidity, right? Like, it's not cool. You get old, you complain about the weather though. We're gonna get some good stuff. We'll just have to deal with the cold a couple more days here. Today into tomorrow is going to suck, and then it looks like we'll be pretty good. Either way, the good news is you can bundle up and watch some awesome college basketball this weekend. We'll get you the latest. We'll start there when we come back. Bill Self talked yesterday, gave some insight on Darren Peterson. We've been wondering about that as the big showdown with A.J. DeBonsa and BYU looms, and it is a big one. I mean, this is big as it gets for KU, who's sort of, even though they've played their way up, TJ, they're still kind of on the back end of that in the Big 12. And if you look at those standings, how does Kansas stack up with the other five?
I saw the stat that Shreyas was referencing last week when he was on, or earlier in the week when he was on the show with us. Number 1 versus number 2 picks. The last one was Chet Holmgren versus Paolo Banchero. And I think that was in March Madness, if I'm not mistaken. Can you name the one that came before that in 2017?
2017?
Mm-hmm. Polarizing players. How about Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball?
Oh my God. I would have not gotten that right in 6.5 years. I forgot about Markelle Fultz. Didn't forget about Lonzo Ball, but I forgot about Fultz. Wow. NBA draft. Give me these two right now. We're going to talk about it next when we get back on Sports Station.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Daily on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Hey, 35 by 70 Golf Co. We'll go get you some outdoor golf gear. It's going to warm up. It's that time of year. Cool hats like this one I'm showing you right now on the video stream. The little buffalo mascot. 35 by 70 golfco.com is a great place to go to get all geared up. They have that stuff. They have some fun stuff like head covers, local company, great in the golf community here locally. Go to 35 by 70 golfco.com. If you want 10% off, you can enter the promo code Jacob. All right, TJ, we come back getting ready for a KU basketball weekend. We'll start there. The magnitude of this one is growing on me. And look, I get it. You've got Peterson, DeBonsa. The big news yesterday is Bill Self. I mean, is he even leaving a window of possibility open that Peterson won't play? He just keeps saying he expects him to go. He said that after the K-State win, and then yesterday, I believe the quote was, I expect him to be ready.
Yeah, he basically said that he hasn't seen Peterson prior to his press conference. He hadn't seen Peterson since Tuesday, as they took Wednesday off and they were just getting ready to practice on Thursday. But he said from what he's seen, he expects him to be progressing enough to be able to play. So,
yeah, so
unless there's a step back in practice yesterday or today, it sounds like he's gone.
Unlikely. It doesn't. I mean, it just really hadn't. I mean, obviously, it's not saying it's 100%, but and I don't know. I guess the question becomes: is it 100% of Peterson? They'll never tell us that. But the ankle injury was pretty gnarly. Like if you watch it, like it was a bad one. We're pretty lucky he didn't hurt it more than just a sprain. So he'll be ready to go. These two have played each other, not on a stage like this, but our buddy Triasota has written about that. He's talked to former coaches, all of that. I am personally, and maybe I'm in the minority on this. I probably am. Like I really genuinely am more interested in just the basketball game than the matchup. I appreciate that the matchup is there and that it's building all this hype, and like I am excited about that, and I'm glad that that's happening. But I'm pretty interested in this game, not just because BYU's one. Like if you look at KU's schedule right now, so clearly there are 6 teams, and we've talked about this in the Big 12 right now that are. I mean, they're all going to be probably top 4 or 5 seeds in the tournament. They're all top 20 of the net. There is I don't know that the top end of the league has ever been this good and this deep. KU's got to play almost all of them over the next couple of weeks. So after BYU, TJ, I don't know how much you've looked ahead on this. It's at Texas Tech on Monday. Then they get kind of a break with Utah at home next weekend. Then it's Arizona and Iowa State after that. And so you're playing Iowa State, Arizona, Texas Tech, BYU in 4 out of your next 5 games.
Yep.
The opportunity
all
here,
top 15.
All top 15. All teams that you're right there with right now. KU's got 2 losses in the Big 12. All 6 of the teams at the top have a combined 8 losses. So Arizona doesn't have any. Houston and Tech have 1. And then Iowa State, BYU, Kansas have 2. You could get to the end of this thing where Kansas is looking, 3rd in the league, with a little help could be better. But I think that's what you kind of circle and look at. Like this is a couple of weeks period, a 5-game period that can take Kansas from being a 4 or 5 seed where they're projected now, probably up to about a 2 seed. And when we're talking about the tournament and potentially playing close to home and all of those things, like the implications of these games are pretty big, especially the ones at home. You got to win those. And that's what it starts with tomorrow at, against BYU. And that's where, like, that's my attention. I'm really excited that DeBonsa and Peterson will play. Like, I'm all about that. I think that's super fun, but I'm way more into the opportunity for Kansas with a healthy Peterson to maybe start playing its best basketball or keep playing its best basketball.
It's a no-brainer that KU fans would tell you that they would be much happier if Peterson scored 10 points and won than 50 points and lost. Like
KU fans, but not everybody that's like locking into this game.
Correct. KU people, though, and that's what Bill Self, that was a second question that he answered, is that he, like, how do you manage a game where everybody's talking about Darren versus AJ? Like, how do you handle a team sport where and he's like, I mean, we're going to talk about it and we're going to say, like, this is a thing, and everybody knows that it's a thing, but we need to be more worried about KU versus BYU. Like, not the fact that there's these 2 guys on the court. They're going to help. They're going to help both of these sides. And he said BYU is probably saying the same thing that we're saying right now, is because they don't want to get caught up in it either. But it's a really good basketball game. And BYU, man, they're so good.
They're so fun.
I loved BYU last year. Like, Richie Saunders was so good in March, and I picked him into my Final Four, and I think that they had a couple bounces could have,
Yeah,
maybe
I don't remember if I took them that far, but I was with you. I shared a brain on BYU. I was really into BYU last year too.
Yeah, and they got better, man. They're really, really good. And
like within seeing who's better between Peterson and DeBonsa, I want to see who's better between KU and BYU. I want to see where KU stacks up in this thing. It's not so much like I think the best version of KU, wherever they end up in the mix of the Big 12, is a roster that could make a run as deep as a national championship this year. I really do think that. Now, how consistent they'll be, the likelihood, those things can all change. But just like the top end of what they're able to do and capable of, I do think that's on the table. So it's not the end of the world. Like the ultimate goal is that, on March, whatever it is, 17th, they're playing their best basketball. But man, I want to see it stack up against the Big 12, just selfishly, just because, right? They're in a position. Wouldn't you love to see, we get a game where DeBonsa scores 40 or 30, but KU holds BYU under 75. Peterson has 18 points, but like 8 assists, and it's all to Flory Badunga because BYU has no answer for him down low.
That'd be
Like,
pretty fun.
I can't wait. That's what I'd want to see.
People keep talking about the atmosphere for the game because they're like referencing that Houston game whenever Houston was number 1. And that was the game. I think they like snuck it out at the very end, if I remember right. Was that or no?
Yeah,
I think that was the game that it was either that one or the one that KU beat them. I can't remember, but that one, the video making its rounds that went viral of like the entire stadium going absolutely bonkers for like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, you've seen all the stuff about the students. Like, I think KU. I don't know the logistics of it or how that works, but like, I think KU is leaning into it and like, trying to fit literally as many as they possibly can into there. Like, it's going to be insane in that place.
Well, you've got a motivated student base now with DeBonsa. Like, that by itself is going to bring that energy even more because it's funny. Like, you get frustrated. Everybody's frustrated that Peterson can't play early, but he's still wearing a Kansas jersey. So you've got his back if you're a fan in that stadium, right? Doesn't matter what else has happened. Like, he's wearing your jersey, you got his back. So, normal circumstances create hostile environments. But when the guy on the other side is a threat to your guy, DeBonsa will have never played in a hostile environment like he will play in on Saturday.
And I can't wait for people, especially like BYU fans are, bonkers. Like they travel everywhere, and BYU fans are everywhere. Like they're all over the country. Correct. And so I can't, like, people talk about the Marriott Center where they play because it's ginormous. That's like double the size of an NBA arena where BYU plays their games. But like everybody's saying that might be one of the best atmospheres in college basketball, and it's like I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Al Fieldhouse is going to freaking show.
It'll be good. It'll be as good as it's been. There's a lot of reasons for it. It'll be as good as it's been as a television product for the obvious reasons. They're going to have College Game Day there. But again, like, the implications of this are more fun to me than the DeBonsa Peterson debate. The implications are in this wild Big 12. KU, I will say this, as KU's been playing much better the last couple of weeks, 3 of those games, TJ, are against K-State, Baylor, and Colorado, who right now are last, next to last, and like 5th to last in the league. Yep. So that, again, like, I'm excited about all this, but you're going into a stretch where you're going to play 4 out of 5 against teams that have lost maybe like 4 combined games, 5. We've seen them play really well against a group of teams that is not very good right now. Now, one of those wins, of course, the first win was the big one against Iowa State, and I don't want to discount that one either. But we've been getting really excited as KU plays some not very good teams right now.
It's true.
At least not compared to.
I hope that it's something where it is sustainable and KU is going to be that good. Because as I look at all this stuff, like, we've had the conversation last year, there's the narrative about the SEC being the best in basketball and everything like that. 2 years ago, it was the Big 12 is the craziest thing. And all the new 12 made it even better because you added Arizona and you added all these teams and excuse me, the whole 9 yards. But KU they were relevant. They weren't relevant in Big 12 standings either of those years because of the struggles they had in conference play out of the gate. Like, if they are in a conference race late in this thing, like, this will be one of the most entertaining KU basketball seasons in a long time. And they won a whole bunch of Big 12 titles, but they did not win any Big 12 titles in a league where they currently have 11 games left and over half of them are against top 15 teams.
It's going to be, I mean, they'll be tested. It's the perfect test. And the reality is, like, they just need to get enough of them to not be in any tournament threat, right? Like you just need to get enough wins where you're like not like don't play yourself into a bubble team or something. I think we've kind of put those conversations to bed.
I mean,
As long as
I think if KU didn't get another ranked win, they're fine.
right. I don't know that it's that cut and dry, but it's close enough where it should be fine. And so now that that is passed, it's really just a sorting of things. How do they stack up? It's an interesting year if you look around college basketball. The SEC is not as top heavy as it was last year, but it's not terrible. There are good teams in the SEC. They're just not right now teams that people are putting as like the best teams in the country. Their best couple of teams are according to the net, are Florida and Vanderbilt, 12 and 13. You go to the Big Ten. The Big Ten's actually pretty interesting because the Big Ten is a little bit challenging the Big 12 in that they have 5 top 11 teams in the net. Okay, but their bottom half of the league is worse than the Big 12. So, would you take Nebraska, Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, Purdue? Okay, that's what we're looking at the Big Ten, all inside the top 11. Or would you take Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, BYU, Kansas Tech? So, Kansas, BYU, and Tech are lower than those other Big Ten teams. But I can tell you right now, there is no world where I'm not taking the Big 12's best 5, whoever you want to exclude, and putting them up against the Big 10's best 5 and liking my chances.
I mean, you take KU, like, if it's a game in Allen Fieldhouse against any of those Big Ten teams, if Purdue came and played in Allen Fieldhouse, KU's going to be favored in the game.
Sure. And the other part of it for me is like Arizona and Houston. I ain't picking anybody over Arizona and Houston. And Iowa State is even higher up than Houston right now, but we watched Iowa State get smashed by KU. So we're probably a little.
You want to get your optics right on Iowa State. They're in Bramlage Coliseum on Sunday. We'll see what happens in that one. But we said that last year, and KU State went on the road and beat them.
KU still got to go there.
Yeah, I
too.
know that's a good one too.
It's an awesome year. It's the best kind of year for college basketball. It's the best kind of year for the Big 12 because there really are, like, any given night with those 6 teams, you have no idea. And then you kind of get to the middle of the pack where you still have a bunch of really good teams, right? Like, we still really like those, but they're all probably going to be bubble-ish type teams. I don't know how many the league's going to get in. My guess is 7. I think it should be 8 or 9, but I'll bet you it ends up around 7. It'll be those 6 and then 1 straggler, or maybe we'll get to. I hope the Big 12's represented well, but we're going into a stretch here for Kansas where it just like we're just going to get prize fights every single night are going to be incredible. K-State, Iowa State this weekend, and we'll talk Wichita State and their game in Tulsa in a little bit. But K-State, Iowa State. I mean, I don't have much for you, TJ. Tang is talking about a player that we're dealing. Moby is another Naquan.
Say Moby's last name for me.
Hang on. I need to make sure I'm looking at it. I know it because I've had to do it.
Not even close.
Iker, give it to me.
Ike Garuka.
Silent
W.
It's not that hard. Ike Garuka. But he hadn't played all year. It's not really been a factor for us. But anyway, we've got Naquan Tomlin all over again with Moby, and like, what's going on here?
I don't know.
I don't
know. It's a weird situation. Like, it's a little bit of Naquan. Obviously, now the statement, my mind last night went to, Josh Simmons, personal matter, away from the team. Nobody knows when he's going to come back. And we obviously don't know what happened with Josh Simmons, and we don't know what's happening with Moby. And so, you have no idea. But apparently he's still on the team. And that's a whole conversation that we can get into if we wanted to get into
but it. But it would be different if this was the first time that we've seen something like this.
Yeah, that's a conversation. It's a weird conversation to have for sure. But Iowa State at K-State, looking at the schedule, speaking of KU's gauntlet, there's the thing, I think it's like JBR is what they call it or something like that on X. their whole shtick is that they post the Grim Reaper and tell teams when their at-large contention is over. And they finally got K-State after Tuesday night and said K-State has officially been eliminated from at-large contention. And people are saying, have they? What if they beat Iowa State, Houston, Texas Tech, and Kansas?
I mean, they're in the 80s in the net. That would be enough. It would. That would move them up enough, probably.
If they didn't lose again, they'd get in. If they lose to Iowa State, then they probably actually are done.
We should have, if you want to, by the way, side note, on the pronunciation of Moby's last name, Wyatt nails it anytime he has to say it. Go get Max, go find a Moby call from Wyatt. He crushes that name. It's awesome.
What's his name? Mitch Fortner. I don't know if you ever met Mitch. He does the PA for football and basketball, and he is a WWE fan. And so he's had so many good ones in basketball. Yeah. He goes nuts in basketball. And so like Moby's is the Moby E.K. Garuka.
Yeah,
he was good at that one.
I need to catch that one because Wyatt's are awesome. Because I'm always like, man, I'm way off on that. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I'm way off.
That was he goes really good at that name. He does really good at he did Arthur Kaluma, and he would hold the Uma for as big of a shot it was. Arthur Kaluma.
Well, that one you hear a lot when we're watching our highlights because you can hear that so well. Yeah, Kaluma's exactly. I remember pretty well.
And then Max Jones. Max Jones is one of my favorites that Mitch would do because it was just Max Jones.
Shout out to fun names. If you're living in our world, go cold read a high school shot sheet.
No kidding. Speaking of Odyssey, Ted the Sports Head, greatest one I've ever heard on a PA was Kenny Poto by Ted the Sports Head. Kenny Poto every time. Kenny Poto.
Yeah, that's a good one. Classic. PA guy's a totally different kind of energy. That's one thing I've done a lot of things in this world that I've done very little of, except for like the kids talked me into doing it for their swim meet one time, and it like that's a different kind of energy you got to have to do it.
Yeah, scream. You got to scream for 2 hours.
It's pretty wild. All right, we're gonna come back. Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saal is going to join us over the phone. We'll talk a little bit about the game coming up against Tulsa. We'll have more on that later, but it's been a busy week, and some uncomfortable things happening at Wichita State. But I think the bigger thing right now is perhaps some lobbying happening in Topeka. We'll get to the bottom of that. What does that mean to get some support for athletic programs? That's next on Sports Daily.
90.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, Stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW. KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We've got Kevin Saal waiting. Thanks to Prayer Fire Coffee for keeping us warm as we get cold again this weekend. We do bring in Wichita State Athletic Director Kevin Saal to the program. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Hey, good morning, Jacob. How are you? I missed Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday, and certainly appreciate joining you on a Friday. What's the promotion today?
Well, we don't have any Hawaiian shirts on today. We do, if we're going for style advice, our pals over at 35 by 70 Golf Co. have some cold weather gear. I don't know if they've got, like thermal jackets or whatever we're going to need this weekend for this weather, but that's what we've got going here. It has been, it's been an eventful week in the news side, sort of college athletics away from the games, Kevin. Chronologically, it started with the news that you guys were forced to downsize the athletic department. I know you've had statements out about that. I'm sure that's been a pretty miserable week in that capacity for you guys, but what's happening there. And then obviously it speaks to the bigger picture we'll be talking about with some of the stuff in Topeka and things today.
Yeah, no question. We, I think TJ and I had a chance to connect on this yesterday, and you look at the global climate and environment of athletics. We've talked about for more than 2 years on your show the finances that are associated with this and how those continue to escalate in new demanding areas and it requires that we do an incredibly good job at raising additional revenue. We sold 600 new season tickets, and did a nice job prior to the season. And it looks like we're gonna hit and potentially exceed our single game budgeted revenue goal. So all that revenue piece is really important. But looking for new revenue streams is equally as important, and trying to solve the overall formula with as many revenue pathways as possible, which really gets you into the state conversation that TJ and I talked about yesterday. But then there's also the reallocation and getting really lean and efficient with what you have to do. And those are painful decisions. They touch really good people and their families, which makes it incredibly difficult. I will share, just obviously we can't speak on specific personnel matters, but as we said in our statement, that WSU athletics and most athletic departments across the country, Jacob, you can do a quick Google search and you can look to see University of Kansas drop 30 plus positions in the summer. Doesn't make it easy, but sometimes the hard right, trumps the easy wrong. And these are hard right decisions to make to ensure the viability of your program. And it's going on all over the place, right? So we're evaluating the best structure for us to right size our operations, remain competitive within Division I. And we have equally tough decisions down the road that we're going to have to make in order to navigate. At the end of the day, everybody understands that men's basketball is the financial engine that allows our department to do a lot of really nice things. And we have to feed it in a particular way so that it benefits not only the athletics department, but what happens at the university level in terms of student recruitment and campus life and exposure and media and all those things that are incredibly beneficial. So again, a lot of different pressures and a lot of ways to navigate that, but we're not alone in terms of staff reductions. It's very unfortunate, but it is a sign of the times in terms of the current athletics climate.
Yeah, Kevin, you and I kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, not for Wichita State specifically, kind of broadly speaking here, the landscape, we said it's made it squeeze a little tighter regardless of what was going on at the NCAA. Anything 10 years, everything is more expensive in the world. Everything is harder to budget for, everything of that nature. Now that the House settlement has gone into play, it makes the pressures, maybe multiply a little bit. Is that the best way to say that?
I think so, because if you look at it just from a mechanics standpoint, TJ, the House settlement did a couple of things, right? It solved the retroactive NIL component, which equates to reduction in distributions from the NCAA to the membership. So let me be clear in terms of what that means. If the NCAA was sending a check for X 2 years ago to Wichita State, that total is now X minus $700,000 because that's our obligation to pay for the House settlement. Additionally, it cleared the way for roster maximums, right? So in order to be competitive, you've got to spend more dollars on scholarships, which is great. It's more opportunities for young people, and that piece exists. And then you have the revenue share component, where sharing of revenue is another expense stream. So there's just really quickly, there's two examples of increased expense outlays and at the same time decreased revenue. It doesn't take a genius to understand that you can't have a whole lot of that without making some really tough decisions. And those tough decisions, they touch people. You have to recognize the personal aspect of that. They touch really good people. And at the end of the day, there's not an athletic director in the country, if you put all 365 of them in a room, that would say they're in the business to reduce opportunities. That's not what we're doing this for. But at the end of the day, we're also in a position of leadership and fiduciary responsibility where we have to find a pathway for each of our respective organizations, and that involves some tough decisions.
Yeah, the fiduciary responsibility is when, Kevin, people, anytime like guys like that, there's a budget, it has to be a budget, it has to be balanced. But I'll tell you on a personal level, what bugs me sometimes about the broader conversation, though, is I don't want to take what I believe is the correct thing, which is different player compensation than we saw, a generation ago, and act like that is the only issue that needs to be solved. Because I watch coaching buyouts. Wichita State's not immune to this, but across the country, some that are just cartoonish buyouts. And I'm like, where are people upset about some of those things? Are coaches leaving programs after a year, holding them hostage and building the buyouts to begin with? Like, there's a lot of issues at play. It's not just that players are now being compensated. At least that sort of bugs me a little bit, because it still, to me, feels like that was the right thing to do.
In terms of compensating student athletes.
Yes.
Yes. And I agree with you. I think it is the right thing to do. I think every director of athletics, again, there's 365 of them, gets out of bed every morning making their best efforts to make the right decisions. Just make the next right decision for your department. And we've seen coaching hires go really, really well, and we've seen coaching hires that don't go well. We've seen coaches that leave for other institutions. We've seen massive buyouts. And unfortunately, that is a part of the business. It's not an attractive part of the business. But the goal here is to, from my perspective, the goal is to make right decisions in terms of personnel and lean in, get in the trenches with them, lean in, develop, improve, because I do think that there is this notion of, man, we're going to have 1 or 2 bad seasons, and let's just cut the cord. Let's sign on to a really massive buyout and put our department in an even more difficult position. And so you have to balance all of those things in terms of your revenue streams and your expenses. If ticket sales and donations are decreasing significantly, then you've got some decisions you have to make, and you got to balance all those things. So there is no one right answer, but every place is different. Every place has positive attributes about it. Every place has obstacles and challenges. And so it's up to the director of athletics, the executive team, the head coaches to navigate your specific environment to produce and maximize success as best you can.
While not directly connected to this conversation, it kind of comes in the same breath that athletic departments are having to be more and more creative. That brings up what happened at the state level that is now making its way across the news cycles. You, Gene Taylor at K-State, and Travis Goff at KU, amongst others, basically went to the State House and are kind of, bringing up the conversation of potentially help funding, I guess is the best way to put that, if you want to speak a little bit about that.
Well, as you and I talked about yesterday, TJ, we really haven't even gotten to the help funding component.
Yeah. That's the idea.
That there's a mutual interest on both sides, from the state perspective and from the institutional perspective, to make sure that we're all dealing with the same information pool. And one critical piece of information into that is that the 3 Division I athletics departments in the state of Kansas contribute $1.55 billion in economic impact last year to the state of Kansas. The Chiefs are incredibly important, and that is such a huge win for the state of Kansas. But I will share and echo my colleague in Manhattan's statements to say that these 3 athletic departments are critically important to the economic viability of the state of Kansas as well. And so when you talk about competitive, you can really look at a narrow lens and say, yeah, we got to win basketball games or softball or baseball. It's more than that. The competition leads to success and exposure, leads to student enrollment, campus life, student engagement, leads to the economic development components. I mean, guys, just one example, we're hosting the state high school track championship. We talk about it each May. We've set 2 consecutive records. We had 31,000 people. That's great competitively, right? It's great for the state. It's an awesome event. It's also really good for the businesses in Wichita in Sedgwick County, because it contributes $7 million of direct economic impact to Wichita and Sedgwick County. And 6 of that comes from outside the county. So these are really important conversations for us to be having, because the last thing that you want is for K-State, KU, and or Wichita State to slip competitively because we're not investing in the things that are going to be required for us to be highly competitive on a national stage. And then that $1.55 billion, we look up in 5 years and it's $1.2 billion, and we're wondering what's happened. And so I think it's a proactive conversation. It is a desired conversation on both sides, and we'll continue to have that conversation and see if any solutions present themselves.
I know you don't have any of the details on any of that and can't give them yet because it's too early. I mean, I wonder if there's a sales tax component similar to the Chiefs, but even broader than that, Kevin, like I hope that you guys, I hope this becomes a purple issue. I don't envy doing anything to try to get politicians to agree. We nationally, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. You have a Republican senator who is in sort of a part of the national conversations that are trying to be had with solving some of this stuff. But in that saying, well, XYZ needs to happen with employment because if not, we'll have unions and unions vote Democrat. And I'm like, okay, like we got to be able to put that stuff aside. I think you guys will have a better time at the state level, like we saw with the Chiefs, but good luck. Good luck. Like that stuff gets muddy and messy.
Well, these are hard conversations, right? At the end of the day, we haven't even gotten to a mechanism. We haven't even gotten to if we're going to explore a mechanism yet. The efforts right now, I want to be really clear that the efforts right now have simply been a mutual desire for everybody to be educated on the challenges and struggles that the three athletic programs in this state are facing in a new athletics climate, and to determine if there are any solutions associated with that. And we'll continue those conversations. It's a formula, guys. That's one aspect of it. And there are so many other areas where we can be good stewards of our dollars, where we can raise more dollars, but keep our products reasonable for our fans. All of those elements we've got to balance.
Kevin, we appreciate you making some time. Good luck. Safe travels for Tulsa this weekend. Massive shocker games. We'll let you get back to it, TJ, and I'll talk about that game.
We got a huge game on Sunday. So huge. Memphis woke up and beat Florida Atlantic yesterday, and we're one game out of first. So we got a big one on Sunday.
We're all over it in the next hour. Kevin, we appreciate it. Thank you. Safe travels.
All right. Take care, guys. Go Shockers.
All right, here goes Kevin Saal, Wichita State Athletic Director. We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83-10-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily, hour number 2 with you. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland here. We will get you ready for the Shocker basketball game. Thanks to Kevin Saal for stopping by and, talking about, listen, some of that stuff's really sucks and is uncomfortable, to be honest. Downsizing a department's brutal stuff. Hate it. Hate it for the people involved. And we appreciate him coming in and giving a little perspective on that and as much as he can on the stuff in Topeka. We'll discuss that in a minute, but if you missed anything, you can go back and listen on the Odyssey app. We'll also talk Shockers this hour and their trip to Tulsa. We kind of walked you through the importance and the magnitude of the KU game relatively. It's a pretty big one for Wichita State, too. So we'll get into that in this hour. We'll take you through some of the other sports headlines as well. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where you can drink Buffalo Sweat and help Buffalo right here in Kansas. In January and February at all 3 WBC locations, a portion of proceeds from every draft pint of Buffalo Sweat Oatmeal Cream Stout will help support Maxwell Wildlife Refuge. WBC pizza and beer made here. Appreciate everybody being with us. 869-1240 on the KFH hotline. The video streams able to be commented on Facebook, YouTube, X. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected and listening on the Odyssey app. TJ, we got some early production back on a segment we're going to bring people about this time every morning on the headlines I probably missed. That could get interesting and fun. We'll have a good time with that. But that'll be coming for you hopefully next week sometime. Just a little reaction, I think, to some of the stuff we were getting into with Kevin. And it is early on the Topeka stuff. I think it could be a simplistic approach that benefits all sides. I don't know that it's apples to apples with what we've got with the Chiefs. I don't know that I completely agree on that with what the administrators will pitch. But
That's
but
the hard.
but it's a similar lane, but I don't think it's the
Yes.
same situation.
Correct. The obvious apple in this conversation is that the Chiefs' apple includes a stadium that is owned by the state of Kansas, a very tangible thing you can see. That wouldn't be the case so much for Wichita
Not
State.
that it does you a
K-State,
ton
and
of good
KU.
without the Chiefs playing in it, but
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like it can actually be defined as something. Like this wouldn't be so as much. It would be more the fact of whatever it may be. And, speaking with Kevin yesterday, as he was referencing that story, will, come eventually on 12 News and everything, that this, isn't so they can go get a new point guard. If they got $1 million from the state, hypothetically, they're not going to take that and go get a new star player. They're not going to go get a quarterback at K-State or KU with that money. I guess I won't speak for K-State or KU, but it's more so to just help kind of, alleviate the things that he was talking about, that the squeeze is getting tighter. Like it's true. Like they're kind of forced to be lean in the things that they do in order to maximize. Obviously, this is every business owner what they say. You want to maximize your profit by staying as lean as possible. And this just would kind of help you feel a little more full rather than lean, I guess is the best way to put it.
There are ways I'm very curious to do it. I think, universities are given a lot of money, and I would not tell you that athletics not included in this. There's a lot of things that don't run lean at a university. Tuition's too high. There are things, like the necessities. Sometimes I don't get a real good evaluation. Athletics is pretty tangible, right? Especially when you're talking about the big sports. There's tangible stuff there. They're generating money for the university, and oftentimes funding a whole lot of things at the university. Wichita State basketball is really interesting uniquely because it is a boom for the city. Nobody would dispute, I don't think, that good Shocker basketball is good for the city of Wichita.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Obviously.
it's a different vibe. It's like all of it. So look, I get all that stuff. And I hope that it's something as simple for the state, because I'm a taxpayer. I hope for the state, it's like, well, hang on. Maybe we could redirect some funds, throw a sales tax to it, and we could direct some of that funding back to help the infrastructure pieces for these schools that are facing these challenges. The reality is, though, TJ, at some point, we're all facing. I run two businesses that have been hurt by the economy, just like the athletics programs in question here. Am I getting a subsidy of some kind, like to support my business?
That's the part that was kind of brought up in this stuff, is that, as you kind of, I guess pushed back on, is that paying players doesn't help, but it was going to be more expensive anyways, like everything is more expensive. Like that's the hard part of this. And that is also the pressures that they're facing as well. Obviously then you start getting the political side of this. And if it goes to a vote, what do the voters say about this kind of thing? If it goes to, and again, he's completely right. Like they're so early in the stages on this that all that they're doing is just planting a seed. Like they didn't even go in there saying like, we want you to do this for us, like, or asking you to do this for us. It's more so just saying like, just want to let you know, this is what we're doing. I don't know if it would be possible that we could make something happen. And there's so many different lanes that could come across, and we have no idea what the idea even is at this point. That's a question that will be answered down the road, I'm sure, as this gets, if it gets legs, we'll start figuring out what the state wants to do on this type of thing, or what the schools want to do on this type of thing. But, obviously, what comes to mind, you bring up the sales tax, you bring up, when it comes to universities, you start talking about grants, you start talking about all the different ways that there are breaks, whatever you want to say. So, but again, we don't know at all what this entails at all. They just want it to be something, it feels like.
And listen, I'm not picking on athletics departments when I say everybody's struggling and everybody can't get help, because athletic departments do generate a lot of different things and so that's not what I mean. But what I mean is, everything is relative. We see restaurant closings every day. Are those not important to the community? A small business not important to the community? We've seen the downsizing in our industry, TJ, for decades. Is that not important to the community? Some might argue that. But like, at what point I say that to say, okay, well, how do you work around that reality? Because that reality is everybody needs help. People aren't spending as much money as they were 18 months ago. I think the way you do it is you say, okay, how can we take the impact and from the state level, how do we take that and monetize the impact? And to me, like, okay, if I'm going to go take the family to a Shocker game and there's a 5% tax on the ticket, is that going to make the difference on whether or not I go to the Shocker game? Probably not. Not. Can that generate
are people going to complain about it?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
But that's not that people complain about everything. That's Correct. Not the point is like what's good, what's good business? Because in this sense, we're trying to make this a business decision, right? If we're going to talk about the Chiefs, that's a business decision. So if we're going to try to compare to that, this needs to be a business decision.
Yes.
Can it be a good business decision?
I agree. And that's obviously the political side to this.
The political side will be its own monster. I think at the state level, you'd probably be okay. But I'm telling you, Ted Cruz, the Republican senator on the Commerce Committee, who's trying to what's the name of the act? The Scores Act, whatever they're trying to do. He said it kind of stops with player employment because then you'll get unions involved, and unions vote Democrat. I mean, these are not things I'm making up. Go look up what he said yesterday, and I'm like, well, they're never going to get anything done. Like that's what we're worried and talking about. Like we can't progress past that in this. That can't be the reason anybody makes a decision. And I'm not saying they should unionize or not unionize, but I'm saying if that's the way the head of these committees are thinking, then the chances of them getting together to get something done are probably pretty low.
Again, yeah. I mean, that's that's just an example. That's a good example of how it can get messy, as you were talking about.
Get off the rails, pretty quick.
Correct. So
at the state level in Kansas. I am proud to live here because they do at times. I mean, there's plenty of that. Don't get me wrong. We're about to see a ton of it in a governor's race. But for the most part, when things need to get done here, they look at things pragmatically and can get some things done. But so I'm curious to see what the proposal even will be.
I agree. And again, as I said, we're so in the early stages of this thing that we're going to be talking about this for quite a while, I would have to imagine, if this gets any legs. But it just, there's so many questions around it because it's such a, I don't know if radical is the right idea, but it's kind of a radical idea. Like it's creative. It's creative. If it works, then it's probably a really good idea for the schools. Obviously money is a good idea for anybody.
If they can get it to work. Other states have done it. Apparently, and I think you were the one who told me this. Apparently there's some other states who've done things through sports betting money or whatever, or lottery money or however it works. And like
as we brought up yesterday, like some of the major questions that arise, the one that I talked about is that there's not a tangible thing. Like the state won't, if the state gives you money, they're not really going to own anything. So does that mean that the state gets to be in on decision makings? Like it's an equity type of thing. And then it's weird.
Redirect some money makes the most sense to me. Or generate money that doesn't exist yet for the benefit of.
Again, and again, we're not saying any of this is going to happen, but these are questions that are going to be answered as this goes along.
We're asking the immediate questions we've had aloud as soon as we see it. Well, what about that's the way we're trained.
And the reason that there's questions is that this doesn't happen very often.
It will be interesting. I can't wait to hear your conversations with all the athletic directors on this one. See what everybody's thinking. All right, when we come back, let's get back to the basketball. Shockers, Tulsa, here we go. We were excited about Wichita State, Memphis. That energy to this game as well. We'll tell you why on the other side.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad to be here with you on Sports Daily. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. It's a simulator kind of weekend at Crestview. Golf fans, if you're waiting for that great weather next week, if that's the first time you're going to get out in a while, couple of state-of-the-art simulators might be nice to get things tuned up a little bit in the warm confines. You can get some food, you can get a beer, hit the simulators, and look at the snow out the window. It's a great time to join Crestview, one of many great parts of that facility. Best time of the year to join for the best deals of the year. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. All right, we come back, TJ. Safe travels to all the Shocker fans headed down to Tulsa Sunday to watch Wichita State take on the Golden Hurricane at 1 o'clock, national TV again. And it's another massive opportunity for Wichita State. Home game, national television against Memphis, passed with flying colors. Wire to wire, the Shockers dominated that game. Memphis, by the way, who beat FAU last night pretty handily, creates an interesting situation where Wichita State now sits 5th in the conference standings, one game back in the loss column of the 3 teams tied for first place in the American. One of those teams includes Tulsa right now. So Wichita State with a big chance here to get things just rolling continuously to be where we thought they might be. It's been fun the last couple of weeks watching them. 3-game win streak. Tulsa's on a 5-game win streak. TJ, Tulsa has what Ken Palm calls a top 25 offense in the country. Wichita State's strength, in my opinion, has been its defense. Clash of styles. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's get this thing rolled. This is going to be, KU's a big opportunity this weekend. The Shockers have a big opportunity in their own right.
It's a really big game. If they can win, I mean, that it's a big game, and the fact that if they win, the conversations that will be had on Monday are the Shockers in this thing, because they will be in the thick of it. I mean, talking to people about
now, they're one game back in the loss column.
I'd say they're in it, but like if they win, it's like they might win it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to go as far as to putting eggs in baskets or anything like that, but like the winner of this league is going to have probably 3 or 4 conference losses, 4 or 5 probably, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And so like it's a long ways away, but if you can capitalize while you're near the top, and Wichita State, like we've seen this in the past couple of years where like they'll start climbing and they'll get to one or they'll start low, as we've seen the struggles, and then climb right back up. And it's like, okay, you can capitalize, get into that top 4, and then you lose to a good team, and then it kind of restarts your process over. Like they've got momentum right now. Memphis was a really big momentum shift. Apparently Memphis is a really good basketball team. I don't know what changed for them. They got one of the best
Memphis. They're the same Memphis we've seen forever.
Yeah,
great at home, athletic, a lot of talented players, and they're wildly if you think it's been inconsistent watching the Shockers the last few years.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's Memphis for 5 years now.
This is a really big game. Their offense is, would you say, top 25 offense on Ken Palm? I mean,
Memphis,
we saw them score it against K-State. Like
Tulsa's 18-3 this year. By the way, if there's another team with Wichita State that I want to, there's 3 teams I think that are the most fun currently to be good in the American for us. Wichita State, obviously. Memphis and Tulsa are the other 2. Tulsa creates the regional rivalry. Tulsa has history. And Tulsa being good is a lot of fun. Charlotte, who, remember, Wichita State should have a win over. That one's going to not nag at us forever. But Charlotte's one of those teams ahead of them. FAU's one of those teams ahead of them who will have that, will have that until they get to play again, unless they, get behind them in the loss column. South Florida plays Temple this weekend. Temple's not bad this year. They also only have 3 losses right now. And then the Shockers play Tulsa. You could have big movement. I don't think Charlotte's losing to Rice. So, the Shockers by the end of the weekend with a win over Tulsa could, in theory, get as high as maybe 3rd, 4th by the end of the weekend with the 1-game spread in that loss column. Let's go. Let's go. Because they still get to play Charlotte. That's who they play back at Koch Arena on Wednesday night. So you can take care of your business there. They play South Florida again, who they remember beating overtime in that thriller. That one's at home in about a week and a half. They'll have Tulsa again. They'll have Temple, who's going to be right there, and they'll have Florida Atlantic again. So the schedule, like if Wichita State got on a run and handled its business, they can absolutely win this league. And those teams have to play each other too. And as we saw last night, I don't think anybody's running the table in this league.
I mean, Tulsa lost, as your point here. Like they looked like not world beaters. That's dramatic, but they looked like world beaters coming out of non-conference play, and then they lost 2 almost immediately.
Just boom, boom.
Yeah, and so that makes you really like looking at them against K-State. Like that was their only loss going in the non-conference. It's like, oh, they might have something cooking over there, and it's like that's going to be a massive game whenever they play, and it still is. But like. That was like, can Wichita State keep up with Tulsa? And then they lost to North Texas, who Wichita State beat handily. So, like, it's all, you can draw the triangle any way that you want to make it look like Wichita State's better than Tulsa or the Tulsa's better than Wichita State because everybody's just going to beat up on each other. It's the Big 12 junior.
We're talking in relative terms here, people. Like, don't misunderstand.
Okay. I'm not saying
sometimes
it's the Big
listeners,
12.
though, sometimes people that hear us say these things don't understand there's always an inherent relativity implied here.
Yes. I'm not saying that they're as good as the Big 12. I'm saying they beat up on each other as much as they will on the Big 12.
Yes. And I also don't think that the top from the bottom is separated by as much as it is in the Big 12. Like the difference between Arizona and K-State is maybe even more. Well, UTSA is pretty bad. But you get down into North Texas right now is near the bottom of the league. North Texas can beat any of those teams at the top of the league. They already beat Tulsa, right? So like every night you're going to look at that and be like, whoa, that was a major upset in the conference. This to me feels like, normal conference play in, not so much like Power 5 conferences where you have these juggernaut powerhouses, but all the other conferences across the country. You watch Division II basketball where conference games teams just beat each other all the time. Like that's what it kind of feels like this year. If the Shockers can harness what we've seen from them lately, they're going to have a chance to be at the top of this thing. And if we go all the way back to the beginning of this season, for me, that's all I hoped for. Give me February, March basketball where Wichita State has a chance to win this league.
Yeah.
That was the progress I wanted to see this year. And it got real dicey there for a minute as they do have 8 losses on the year, right? There was still a messy part of the season for a minute there, losing to Rice, blowing it to Charlotte. Their whatever the runs thing has been, although the last 2 games we've seen less of that, which maybe is progress. It's defense, TJ. Shocking. This is what's happened for them. For Paul, if I remember correctly, without going through every season specifically, the turns that we've seen the team take in each of the years under Paul Mills have been late season buy-ins to just being nasty defensively.
Yeah.
And we are starting to see that this year with this team.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. They've gone. I do agree with you that there's always the shift because I remember notoriously. I think this was an IB year even, but I remember notoriously like
the IB teams were always big defense. They didn't have any.
But like,
offense.
do you remember? I think it was his last year, and then I think there was like Mills' first year was like this. That it was like the shocker under hit every single time because the defense was so good, and then it was like February, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna go score 80 points a game now. It's like, whoa, who are these guys? So there is typically something that changes around this time. So the Wichita State, I think, has shown you so far that they're kind of an outscore you try to type of team, in my opinion.
But I don't think that's been their best. That
I don't think that they want to.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So I'm just in a simplistic form. When they rattled off that 6-game win streak last year, TJ, here's what their opponents scored in that stretch.
You're right.
58, 70, 64. There was a 79, but it was overtime, and it was Memphis. 68, 67. So, sorry, 67. And I can go back the year before and look at the same thing because they did get on a stretch in the 23-24 season both after bad starts. It's been, I mean, it wasn't as much of a stretch, I guess, in that year. They had the tournament, and they never really did have a stretch that year. But we get into this part of the year, and that is the thing that travels. That is the thing that is consistent or should be. That is the thing that you just start with. If you know you're starting there, that's where this team has had me intrigued all year. if you can tell me they're going to start with really good defense, and they have not played really good defense all year, but they have lately. If you can start there with a scorer like Kenyon Giles, that's a good place to start from. Now, the next evolution is, and we're starting to see this too, okay, Kenyon Giles is a great scorer. He's not going to score 25, 27 points a night. What happens when he scores 16 or 17? Are they still going to be? And that's where I think we are seeing progress. We talked a lot about him water cooler yesterday with Dylan Petit. He is, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's been a difference maker because he's been a very confusing player this year to watch. TJ Williams, if you can get him back healthy and it's taken some time from that concussion, I think that's got some legs. I know a lot of people really just want to say, well, what if Wilberg's going to do what Wilberg does. He's an older player. He's a tremendous defender. He helps them. He's as good a rebounder as I've seen in a long time. That's what he's going to do. I don't think we're going to start seeing Wilberg score 16 points a game. That's not going to happen. So what can be done though, I think are some of these wings, some of these forwards driving downhill and getting to the basket. Why can't this be a team that, dominates the free throw line like they dominate the boards?
Yeah.
I think they have the players to do it.
I mean,
you can supplement it with some shooting from KG, and you've got something that looks as good as there is in the league.
I agree. I mean, and we joke about the 3-point shooting of what that they are and everything of that nature, but they're as far as that can take them right now is the thing. And that's the argument that we're bringing up here is, can they survive on a night that they don't go in? What if they go down to Tulsa and it's a tough environment and the shots aren't falling? Like, can you go grind one out and find a way? And, to your point, Northern Iowa, that was the recipe. TJ Williams kind of carried Wichita State in that game because of the way the shots weren't falling at the clip that they had been in non-conference play at that point. And so if they can find a way to, manufacture something, and I think that it's just kind of right now it's by committee. You're talking about Berg. Berg's not going to score 20 points, but Berg's probably going to get 10 rebounds, and he's going to end up with 10 off the bench. Okorafor has shown you he could probably get to double digits every time if opportunities are there, and then the rest of it's just
it's they shot the ball great at South Florida, right? It's great.
Yeah,
they didn't shoot it. The 3-pointers weren't the reason they won East Carolina or Memphis. And look, East Carolina maybe isn't the best example. It's not why they won Memphis.
Yeah,
they didn't shoot the ball well at all against Memphis from 3.
They won that game. They won that game because they had 4 players that had almost 15 points.
Right. I mean, it wasn't awful. It was 34% for the game. That's a fine place to live. But
that was my biggest takeaway from the Memphis game is that they beat a good team with Giles under 20 points, under 15 points. Like he was tied for the high scorer on the team. He wasn't even the top guy.
Like Boyd took 14 shots in that game. I don't think that's a thing we're going to see consistently.
No, it's not.
But he was also good against East Carolina. So maybe we're not giving him enough credit because we love his defense so much and he's so good at the other things that he does.
I think that he would be more of the wild card than Battie would be, more just because of how much of a freak athlete that Boyd is.
Freak. But that doesn't seem like it's his game. Maybe it can be. Either way, what we're like, the point of all of it is it's coming together clearly, which we like. They're in the position we begged them to be in at this point of the year, which we like. They're playing defense at a level that we know works in this league. We followed it for a long time. Defense can get these games messy and give you a chance every night in this league. So we love all that. Now it's what's the next step for this team, I think, offensively? How can they consistently get to the point? Games where Kenyon Giles scores 27 points, gravy. Awesome. Those games, they're going to be really hard to beat. When they're not, though, what is it? And that's what we saw last week. Let's see if they can take it on the road now against Tulsa. It's a big test. Man, I'm excited for it. Tulsa's a great offense. They're not a great defense. That should favor the Shockers. The Shockers should want to play every great offense that doesn't play good defense. because you trust your defense, right? You trust your defense. You trust your rebounding if you're the Shockers. If they have a hard time stopping you, like if Wichita State has a good offensive night, they're going to be hard to beat. Consistency, it's just a fun conversation to be having now, January 30th, as we're about to turn the calendar for the Shockers to be in a position to go win the league. They 100% are in that position. Now I got to do it. Now they can't fumble it away, because as tight as it is, what does it look like underneath Wichita State? Yeah. You go down, you get up past East Carolina and UTSA, you go all the way down to Rice, TJ.
Yeah.
And they're only behind 2 losses. So you better, there's no wiggle room to get on a cold stretch.
And then, I mean, this is the reason that we're kind of pounding the table about this thing back in November, is that, guys, Memphis is not going to be as good as they usually are. And FAU isn't going to be as good as they usually are. And everybody else that was good already left the league. And so it's like, why can't you go win this year? And it's showing itself that anybody in the team, like, it wouldn't surprise anybody if North Texas could find a way to come out of the basement and go win the league. Like, if South Florida could find a way to get it done. If FAU could find a way to get it done. If Memphis just put their crap back together, they could go win the league. Like,
sure, they
can. It's all right there for whoever wants it.
I love it. That makes it so much more fun. It's a unique thing for and I don't like shy away from this. Like, we both cover the Shockers analytically, and I also really enjoy the Shockers and want them to be awesome from a fan's perspective. From a fan's perspective, there's not a home game on the schedule right now that I wouldn't be fired up to go see.
You want to talk about something? Somebody brought this up on social media in my post that of Mills talking about having 6,200 people come out in the snow last week against Memphis. If they beat Tulsa this weekend, that next coming home game, you think that's
Charlotte, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think, what is that, a Wednesday night? Yeah, Wednesday night, 6:30 game.
The game time always makes that hard, but
I know. Is there a home weekend game after that? Am I making that up?
Yeah, there will.
They have Tulsa on Valentine's Day on Saturday.
Ooh, romantic. Hey,
you think they could get to, if they win out up until that game? What do you think? 8,000?
Sure. Tulsa would be a good one for a big crowd. You've got that's a weekend home. Temple, which could have big implications, is a Saturday 5:00 game. That's a great tip time. Man, that's a good tip time. That's national TV. And then Florida Atlantic, they end the season on a Saturday at 3. Sure. Yeah, look, I think you could get there.
Let's get a sellout. Let's get a sellout. Why not?
We can sell out the Aftershocks. We can sell out the first place contending.
If they are in first place for that Florida Atlantic game, it better be a sellout, or this town is a bunch of frauds.
I can't hold that together. Sometimes we have kids basketball games we got to go to. All right, we'll be back. We got more sports today. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination, they tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
Hey, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. You want to win a free cup of iced tea? You can get one at HTO, East Wichita, West Wichita, Derby, right now by entering our contest. Text the keyword tea to short code 20357. More than 25 flavors to choose from, including the all-new spiced orange. Again, the keyword is tea. The short code is 20357. You can enter once per day. Message and data rates apply. If you can brave the cold on Saturday, Cousin's Maine Lobster Truck is coming back to the East Wichita location. It's good, I will say. The lobster is delicious, but that's that popular Food Network, I believe they start on franchises rolling through. They'll be at the East Wichita location from 11 to 8 on Saturday if you can handle the cold weather. if you're tough enough, and then stop in and grab a tee while you're there. All right, TJ, we come back in. The Chiefs make a running back hire that people are talking about, I think. This is one of those kind of side headlines. Does this move the needle for us? Does it mean anything? He had a run with Eric Bieniemy in the past. I want the Chiefs to here's what I want. I want Andy Reid to come out and say, you know what? We're going to run the ball next year. Just let us know. Just tell us. Just stop, we all want it to happen. Is we're getting close to free agency and Breece Hall. What are you going to do?
Are you just gonna bury the lead here? The running backs coach coached at Notre Dame and recruited Jeremiah Love, the Chiefs' number 9 overall draft pick in 2026.
This is a speculation that I need you for. We looked at this yesterday. If you go look at the if you go look at the draft order right now, Jeremiah Love, let me ask you this. Are you officially advocating for the Chiefs to take Love if he's there at 9? I need to know that first. Okay.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to make it to 9. The last handful of times we've seen highly drafted running backs, it's worked out for the teams. It's a copycat league. I would say that the Lions don't regret drafting Jahmyr Gibbs. The Falcons don't regret drafting Bijan Robinson. Have there been any other really high running back picks that I'm missing? Ashton Genty, last year. Probably too early to say if the Raiders Ashton Genty ran behind one of the worst offensive lines we've ever seen last year. So it's probably a little early to make that call. But if you go look right now, the Raiders certainly don't need a running back. The Jets probably don't. I think they feel decent about what they have behind Breece Hall because he's probably gone. The Cardinals, James Conner got hurt, could use a running back. The Titans could use a running back. Robert Saleh, you think he wants to run the ball? For sure. The Giants are probably going to be fine with Scadaboo. The Browns, Judkins, they took him early last year. Probably don't see that again. The Commanders absolutely need a running back. The Saints need a running back. And then you get to the Chiefs. I don't know that I think Love's going to be there at 9. So let me ask you this. Do you advocate for the Chiefs trading up in the first to draft Jeremiah Love? What if it cost you a second?
I don't like that.
Okay.
Don't
so
like
only
that.
If he's there at 9.
I don't know. It depends on do you think that they're going to shell up some cash and get Breece Hall?
Well, that would change everything.
Yeah.
That makes this
obviously.
That's what will be and that will
I guess I'll say that the ideal scenario is that you sign Breece Hall and then go draft Bain or Bailey.
I mean, ideal for our enjoyment, yes.
For the Chiefs,
Breece Hall, and we want, but that also means that money is tied up. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, there's the financial component of signing Breece Hall that has to be factored into everything. We don't know who's going to restructure what. We don't know still what Travis Kelce is going to do. Although I think he's coming back. I've made that call. So we don't know those things, and we don't know what money's going to be there. McDuffie probably not in the cards for the Chiefs long term. They've got some decisions to make, but they'll make that before the draft. So let's say they don't take Hall, they don't sign Breece Hall or any other free agent running back. I mean, who knows? Maybe they think Rico Dowdle is the future, but they don't. Let's say they don't sign anybody. Then you get to a situation you're on draft day. Love might fall to you. He might not. And I think then it becomes the question of, do you love another running back? You're willing to take that high? Do you love enough running backs that you're willing to just take whichever one you like and roll into the season? With that as your answer. Like, all right, well, we're just going to have to be happy with one of this next group of guys because that's our option right now. I guess.
I don't know. I don't think that that's enough. Like, I think to be fair,
where was Jamal Charles taken?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think of the running backs that stepped in immediately for them in recent years. Jamal Charles, boy, I can't remember all that. He was drafted in the 3rd round. They've got a history of waiting on running back. They do. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th round pick. I honestly, crystal ball, I don't think they sign Breece Hall, and I don't think they take Jeremiah Love in the 1st. I think the starting running back for the Chiefs next year is drafted somewhere between rounds 2 and 4 next year?
I don't think so. Well, it depends. It depends on this. If they are going to do what we think that they're going to do and commit to the run as hard as we think they're going to commit to the run next year, then that's enough.
They won't commit to the run as hard as we think or want them to. They won't.
If they committed to the run 75%
A little bit
of what
more.
we think,
Yeah.
then I don't think that that's enough. I think that you need to go get somebody that you can have a bell cow, because Kareem Hunt's not a bell cow.
But he was when he was drafted in the 5th round or whatever it was.
You can make the argument that Pacheco was a 7th rounder too, but I mean, if you're going to change your offensive identity, you're going to want,
I don't know. I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. Is that still appropriate to say? Can we still say that? You get Breece Hall. Okay, that's one path to doing what we think they need to do. You draft Jeremiah Love. That's another path. But there is still another path where this could be one of the better run-blocking offensive lines in football next year, and just a little bit of juice in that run game is enough to do what you want to do. You still have Brashard Smith. I think you still like Brashard Smith. So you need a first and second down, downhill runner, and Brashard Smith evolves into it. There's a lot of ways to get there. I think that because the offensive line is so good at that. The commitment has to come from the coaching staff to actually do it as much as the player that's back there doing it. They showed us in a game this year, when push comes to shove, we can just give it to Kareem Hunt 30 times and get where we, you know what I mean? Like, I think if the goal in like Jeremiah Love, for instance, or Breece Hall probably gives them the best chance to get back to and potentially win a Super Bowl next year. But does it give him a better chance than an elite pass rush? Does it give him a better chance? That I don't know that it does. I don't know that I believe that it does. So that's where it gets hard. The mocks they're saying the Chiefs are taking Chiefs ain't taking a tackle. The Chiefs are going to take a pass rusher. I think it'll either be defensive player, because they might have a need for a corner. It'll be defensive player
or running back.
I suppose there's an outside chance it could be receiver, although I don't want that.
If it's a receiver, they need to trade down, I think. But I guess if you get a chance, if you're taking a wide receiver in the top 10, look at Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Right. Those typically work out, right? That's what I mean. Like, that would be a situation where you're just like, God, we can't pass on that guy. Like, that player's too good. NFL.com's first one I pulled up. Let's just look at a mock draft. I haven't done this at all yet. This is looking at a mock draft cold and for the first time this
year. It's tackle.
So NFL.com, of course, has the Raiders taking Mendoza, the Jets taking Reese, the pass rusher out of Ohio State, the top tackle out of Utah going to Arizona, which they do need that. That would make sense. Carnell Tate's most people's top receiver, I think, right? From what you've seen, that's what I've seen. They've got him going to the Titans, another tackle to the Giants, which makes sense. The Browns, which makes sense. Then you get into Jordan Tyson. That's at Washington. They do need a receiver. They have Love to the Chiefs at 9. Bailey going right before. Would you rather have David Bailey or Jeremiah Love if they were both on the board? Don't think they will be. But which one would you rather have?
Just depends. It depends on what they want to do, man. If they are fine with not handing the football off, then doing what they've done, then probably take Bailey. Like, it's a waste of time to get it. But I don't think that that's what the case is. I think that they want to run the football next year. And if you don't have Breece Hall or whoever on your roster, you go get Jeremiah Love.
I'd still rather have Bailey, but I'd be fine. I'd be fine with Caleb Downs. I'm looking at some of these players. They obviously aren't going to take Sadiq, the tight end. The top corner is projected out of Tennessee, Jermond McCoy. That's down at 13. So you'd be in the mix for that. I think you just take, unless the BPA is a tackle, I don't think the Chiefs would. I think they'd trade down at that point probably. But if it's Tate, if it's Tyson, Love, Bailey, like if you could tell me you'd get one of those guys, I'd probably be fine either way. But to your point, free agency comes first. You may not need some of those guys. You're going to need Bailey no matter what you do. Like Bailey, Pass rushers always a need. Like for every team across the league, doesn't matter who they have, pass rushers always a need. Running back, maybe you handle that in free agency. Wide receiver, maybe you handle that in free agency. So you get down to those things as well. Rick says trade Rice and take a receiver. I don't think they're going to trade Rice. Rice has plenty of issues. I get it. Right. I don't know I wish I had a crystal ball on Rice. I have no idea. I really don't at this point. And that's where people in the camp of take wide receiver are coming from is, we loved the idea of Rice and his connection with Mahomes. And now it's to the point where it's like, boy, I don't know. Is that a long-term fix? Worthy, obviously, with a shoulder. I don't think we have a good read on that. I mean, there's been some there have been some misses. There have been some misses, and we'll see what happens long term. But running the ball negates the need a little bit. But does taking Jeremiah Love help you 5 years from now?
Probably.
Maybe.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, because running backs don't always live up to the bill. The shelf life is shorter. They don't want to pay him because he's replaceable at 5 years into his career. This happens with running backs all the time.
Yeah.
If David Bailey is a Pro Bowl level pass rusher, does he help you in 5 years?
I feel like 5 years isn't the right number. 10 years, then yeah, probably. Like
10 years in the NFL is silly. Most guys don't play 10 years.
7.5, whatever you want to say.
No, what I'm saying is, does this guy help you later in the window of Mahomes?
I think so. And I think that if you can get an elite running back and have the chance to re-sign him as your franchise quarterback is getting older and older, there's an argument to be said about that as well. So you don't have to do this again in 3 years.
Breece Hall doesn't help you 5 years from now.
It's true. That's why you can make the argument for Love if you want to do that.
Well, no, to me that makes the argument for Hall now, Bailey in the draft, and then move on from there. That's what it meant. I mean, this is going to be such a fun offseason. This is going to be such a fun offseason. I cannot wait. The Chiefs have a pick in the top 10. Like, we actually get to have fun with the draft now. When they pick 30, like, you can't have fun with that. You're like, I don't know, man. Like, whatever. Like, it's not fun. This is way more fun. And we only have 2 more months to talk about it. We'll be right back. More Sports Daily right after this.